We're going to turn back now to Capitol Hill after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced her picks for the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol, a panel that includes Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff of California. He also has been appointed to that Select Committee. He's the chairman of the House Intel Committee. Also with us, New York Times reporter and MSNBC national security analyst Michael Schmidt. Good morning to you both. Congressman Schiff. Mr. Chairman, let me ask you first about your objectives now that you are on this Select Committee, joined by Liz Cheney, appointed there by Nancy Pelosi. What do you aim to find here different than what we already know about that day?
Well, our gold standard is really to try to produce a comprehensive report like the 9/11 Commission did. So we want to look at everything that led up to January 6th, what intelligence we had, what intelligence we might have had, what took place on the 6th, why we were so ill-prepared, why the response was so untimely, what we need to do, most importantly, to protect ourselves going forward. So what recommendations do we have? Some of that ground has been partially covered. A lot of it hasn't been covered really at all. On the Intelligence Committee, we're still trying to get answers to some of the most basic questions. So we want this to be the definitive and exhaustive analysis of what happened that day and how we protect the country going forward.
Congressman, it's Jonathan Lemire. I wanted to get your thoughts on who else would be on this committee. We heard yesterday, of course, Congresswoman Cheney is going to be a part of it. She's a Republican. We don't know yet what other Republicans will be involved. So let me just put it to you bluntly. Do you welcome Congresswoman Cheney's presence on the committee? And then secondly, do you have concerns about who GOP leader McCarthy may put on this committee and whether they would be willing to investigate what happened in a good faith effort, considering that so many Republicans are existing in a state of denial as to the events of January 6th?
I do welcome Liz Cheney's presence, as well as any Republican that's serious about their constitutional duty and wants to get to the bottom of what happened on the 6th. I think she'll approach the subject, already is, with great solemnity and understanding that this really needs to get done in a nonpartisan way. In terms of who McCarthy will recommend, it's hard to say. He didn't want the investigation done to begin with. When he was offered a commission negotiated in a bipartisan basis with 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, he didn't want that to take place because Donald Trump doesn't want it to take place. So whether he'll try to put people on it to make a circus out of it, or whether he'll decide, no, it's better to actually put responsible people on it, very hard to say. But we can't control that. We can only control what we do, and we intend to fulfill our constitutional duty.
Michael Schmidt, it was your colleagues, of course, at the New York Times that put together this remarkable video released in the last few days, about 40 minutes worth of footage from January 6th, a lot of it unseen, all of it very powerful. What your sense of, give us your reporting in terms of what can be done here? What will be the objectives of the committee, to be sure, but how does it shape the discourse going forward? How will the parties respond to what is found that day? And will it be something that has any kind of meaning for Republicans, the broader electorate, or is it something that's going to be kind of put away quickly and the GOP hopes to their efforts to just change the topic of conversation?
I think that video shows the complexities and difficulties of investigating the insurrection, because the insurrection happened 6 months ago. But it was just now, after all this work, and I know that my colleagues spent all this painstaking time going through all of the footage. It may be the most photographed crime in American history. There's all these different camera angles and individual photos that people took on their phone and stuff that was taken by the media, and put it together into a comprehensive way into this 40-minute video where you can understand the entire thing. That took a lot of time. And so investigating an event like this and getting to the bottom of not just what happened that day, which the video looks at, but why it happened, what were the factors that led to it, and what could be done. I mean, that could take a long time because it's such a complex event. You have so many different defendants that have been indicted in this. We had a member of the Oath Keepers agree to cooperate with the government this week. That can spawn and lead to other angles in an investigation. So we're still in a very early part of this. And the only thing that I would say about a committee like this is that a committee like this can be very powerful because its requests for documents, its subpoenas, while Congress, I'm sure, wants every one of its requests and subpoenas to be taken seriously, when a committee like this makes an ask, it's looked upon with a bit more urgency and a bit more severity. And that could lead to, even more disclosures to the committee because they're going to get documents and cooperation probably more promptly, at least from the executive branch.